In our upcoming series on the Gulf Cooperation Council, or the GCC, Stratfor will take a look at the rise of the 6 monarchies that comprise the group. We will examine the various challenges facing the GCC as a whole, but will also analyze, country by country, the particular challenges specific to each state. Despite their differences, the coming years will be ones of overall change for the Gulf monarchies as they struggle to diversify their respective economies and rein in state spending. The GCC is comprised of 6 monarchies: Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, and Bahrain. All 6 are located in the Arabian Peninsula, a harsh region that historically has been poor and underdeveloped when compared with far more fertile surrounding areas, such as Greater Mesopotamia, the Levant, or the Nile Delta. That all changed, however, in the 20th century when massive amounts of oil were discovered in Arabia. Hydrocarbons have been the source of modern Arab Gulf power. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE have all used oil revenues to overcome the limitations of their desert geography, which has resulted in rapid population growth and infrastructure development. In our upcoming series, Stratfor will trace developments in each of these countries, as well as their varied responses to social unrest and the recent decline in oil prices. Not all of the Gulf monarchies are created alike, however. Bahrain, Oman, and Qatar all have much more modest hydrocarbon reserves than their sister states, though large-scale natural gas production and LNG exports in the early 2000s have transformed Qatar into a much richer country. It is for this reason that Bahrain and Oman will be at the front of addressing state spending, as they cannot rely on massive reserves of oil to help their balance sheets. Kuwait will also join them in this regard, as the series will investigate. Despite the differences between the various states, they also share some common challenges. Even the more resource-poor of the GCC states have an over-reliance on commodity exports and a lack of economic diversification. They also all have a relatively high level of state spending as a result of a need to ensure social stability and to constantly overcome geographic constraints to development. Stratfor will take a broad view at the 3 main areas each of the GCC states will have to address: tax reform, fuel and power subsidies, and employment and labor reforms. We will also analyze how each individual monarchy will respond to its own unique circumstances. The GCC countries together lend credence to the old maxim that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. In the last century, the overall wealth of the GCC countries has turned what were once provincial backwaters into actors on the regional stage, capable of competing with historical hegemons like Turkey and Iran. In our upcoming series, Stratfor looks to see if the GCC monarchies can tackle their challenges head-on, and what form their unlikely rise will take in the future.